Hello, this is Noreen from Joy Cards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up! Card videos, please click the subscribe and the little bell, and you'll be notified when my videos release. So, this video is on this bundle here. It's called Santa's Delivery Bundle, but it's also a suite, which is called Santa Express, not to be completely confusing, but it is. But this is the whole suite, and it comes with the stamp, the dies, it has an embossing folder, two of these, there are two of these little mini folders in here. There's the star embellishments, which I have been using like crazy. This is definitely good. And this cool ribbon, and also the DS paper, which I have been using like crazy so much that it's all cut up in my little folder. And by the way, I am an Amazon affiliate. If you go to the description of my video, you'll find these little folders. And if you click on them and buy them for me, I get a little commission, and that helps my little starving business. Or if you click on it and don't buy anything, and then go on Amazon and buy, like all your Christmas presents, I get a commission, so it helps me struggle and not starve. Anyway, so here is the suite. Now, I always like to show everybody how they cut out and how they stamp. But before I do that, there's two other things in this suite, and I got the whole suite because it's the whole suite. And one is this one right here. It's the Memories and More card pack. And it's really cool. It has a bunch of cards. And I don't do the Memories and More. I used a scrapbook like for decades. And one of my closest friends that I did it with, she did something pretty horrible that no woman would ever forgive another woman for. So I literally can't scrapbook anymore. It makes me sick. So anyway, but these are the Memories and More. And look, they come out with these cool items in here, and they're really neat, and I probably won't use them, but I have a little idea that I might do. So if you subscribe, you might find out what it is. I'm not 100% sure if it'll work yet, but I'm going to give it a shot. Also, it comes with the Santa Express Memories and More cards and envelopes, which these look really cool, and I'm surprised I didn't use them, but I like making my cards from scratch, but if this was like a paper pumpkin kit, I'd be all over these alternatives. These are really nice too, and I didn't use these, and I opened them, but I might just sell them at the end of the catalog when they retire. Not sure. And if you're wondering, at the end of every catalog, I sell all my retired. So go to joyofcards.com. That's my website. And you go on the shop. If you're on a PC, it'll say shop on the top. If you're if you're using a cell phone, those three little lines there, click on the lines and it'll say shop. And it'll also say shop Stampin' Up! Or shop Joy of Cards. If you go to Joy of Cards and go to retired, all my retired stuff is there. Everything that I use in my videos that retire at the end of a catalog, I sell and I get rid of it. Also, you can buy my cards and card kits. I do have some cards and one card kit up there. It's a Christmas one, but that's where they all go when, a catalog dies. Anyway, so let's see how they stamp up. So here's the stamps, and I divided them between sentiments and actual like images. So it stamps pretty well. And then I also die cut everything out from all the dies. I think there are 13 dies. Nope, there are 16 dies. So there's 16 dies now. There are duplicates, like they make two for no reason. And I don't know where the other one of this went, but there are two of these. They're exactly the same. There are two of these like star ones, and there's two of the penguins. So they're duplicates. They give you duplicates just because they think you're going to cut out a lot. I don't know. And then there are things that not only die cut, but they stamp. So these are the ones that like stamp and die. And then there are dies that you use the DS paper and you can cut them out. So these four here will cut the DS paper. And then there's really only one that layers, and it's like the wreath and the bow. I guess you could layer like the tree layers on top of the train. So do the gifts, they layer on top of the train. You can put the penguins inside the train car if you stamp it like that. So there's different ways of doing it. But let me show you, I made 3 cards one tag, and we're going to make one of the cards at the very end, and it's a trifle one because you know I'm going to do something with this. I mean, everybody's going to do this. So let's see the first thing I made. First thing I made here is a tag, and you might think, oh, well, that's just really easy. Duh, you just cut it out. Well, you do have to back the back because this is a double-sided paper. So what I did, and I did use the twine. That's the only thing I used the twine on because it's kind of thick and I just didn't want to deal with it. So what I did is, of course, I cut this out of the paper here. And there are, you know, all different skin tones. You just pick out whichever one you want. And then, so you're going to cut this out with a die. And then you're going to take a piece of white paper and you're going to take your plates. Now here are my 2 plates. And normally how you cut something out is that, you know, you put it down and you put your top cut plate on, you die cut it. Well, to do the back, you got to make sure that it matches. So now when you cut the other side, what you need to do is you need to take your die and put it down on the clean glass. Like this is my clean plate and this is my bottom plate. And how I keep my plates is once this gets really, really bad, then I use this as a bottom plate and then get a new plate. So I'm kind of using them both ways. So I've got my die on my top plate face up. So the cutting is up. Then I'm going to put my paper down and then I'm going to put this really crummy plate on top. And what that does is it'll cut into the crummy plate instead of cutting on the good plate and run it through, and it'll match up to the back. So that's how you can go ahead and make a tag out of the set. Here's card number 1. Now, stay till the end because card number 3 we're going to make, and it's a big trifle thing. Anyway, card number 1 is just a 5.5 by 4.25, and all the measurements are in the detail of my video. So click next to the description, that little arrow or the show more or whatever, and then everything pulls up, all the supplies, all my Amazon links, all my Stampin' Up links. You can click on a Stampin' Up item, and it'll go direct to my joyofcards.stampinup.net. That's my direct with them. Anyway, so this was kind of fun. What I did is, this is Poppy Parade, because this DS paper, all this color right here, that's Poppy Parade, that's not red. And you can tell that it's Poppy Parade because if you look on the back of the DS paper, it tells you all the colors here, and red's not there. So that is Poppy Parade. And then I got a little mint macaroon, and then I put the DS paper there. And then I took a piece of white, and this white is 3.75 by 3, and I stamped the tree. Now the tree lays sideways to go on top of the little train car here. So I stamped it on the side so I could get like it's, you know, the whole thing is there, but it's not. And then I stamped the gifts, I stamped the penguins, and with the Christmas tree, I used a little tiny piece of silver foil. Here's one of those folders again. I keep every little scrap of folder I can get my hands on. And the Amazon link is in the description of my video. I am an Amazon affiliate. I am 100% safe to click on, so you're all good there. So I die cut a little star, and I got the star from Give It a Whirl. This wee little one right there. So I did a little star there for the tree, and then the sentiment tag, they didn't give us a sentiment tag with this set, so I used stylish shapes because I had, you know, a shadow one to go with the sentiment. And this is shaded spruce. And then I also did something else that I don't normally do. If you notice, I etched this image here, and it's not a piece of paper larger than this white. What I did is I made 1/8 of an inch by the length of the square here, and then I glued it together. And what that does is I really think it gets rid of the edge more than laying something on top of it. And I did it on 2 of these cards here just to mess with you. But I did this a lot when I was scrapbooking. So I was kind of reminiscing about my scrapbooking days. And anyway, so, and then the tree I did in light granny apple, a green, and I didn't fill it all in. I left some spaces in there. And then the gifts, I used Poppy Parade and shaded spruce. And on the penguins, I used black I used the dark Mango Melody and the dark Poppy Parade and filled in there the little tongue and everything. And then inside is just shaded spruce, mint, and white. And I did the little candy canes on the bottom. And this is card number 1. Here's card number 2. And oh, I forgot that on this card, I used a blending brush and mint macaroon and did the background. And then just used the die cuts and kind of masked over the pieces just to get around it because I needed to stamp it first. But anyway, so here's card number 2. It's a Slimline card. Like I said, all the dimensions are in the description of my video, so you don't have to sit there and frantically write it down. But it's a 9x8 and you score it at 4 basically. And then I took Poppy Parade and I took this paper from the set here and I just cut it this way and cut it down to this image here. And then I did that thing again where I took 1/8 of an inch and the length and used it as a border to kind of get rid of that rough edge. And then I took the 2 little penguins. Now I did something with the penguin, and that is I did a mirror image. So when you stamp it, all the penguins are just going this direction. So how did I make it flip? Well, there's 2 ways you can do it. One is with a Stamparatus, and one is with your silicone craft sheet. Now with the Stamparatus, I really kind of recommend you do it with the Stamparatus just because you get a better image. But go ahead and put your penguin down and you're going to stamp it on the silicone craft sheet. And the reason why I want you to do it on this more is because if you don't get the image down all the way, you can always redo it. So I'll just do it for you here real quick. I'm going to take my penguin. Usually I have a stamp case under here so you can stamp it, you know, and it's all level. So here, I'll go ahead and do that. So you stamp them here, and then you're going to do the image, get a nice pressure on it. And he came out pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about it. And then you take a piece of white and you put it down and just rub it like that. And boom, there you go. Now you could do it without the Stamparatus, but I don't think it works as well. Maybe something about the equal pressure on the piece, but like here, let's go ahead and do it on with just a stamp. I'm going to take the stamp, whoopsie, and I'm going to put them down here. And then I'm going to put the white on it. Oh, my fingers are full of ink. There we go. And it looks like that. It just looks better with the Stamparatus, but if you don't have a Stamparatus, you can do it on the silicone craft sheet. Mine turned out pretty terrible because I'm rushing it. So anyway, that's how you do that mirrored image. And once you have him all colored in, and I use the same colors as before, the dark black, the dark Mango Melody, and the dark Poppy Parade, and then I fussy cutted it. I mean, I could have tried to line it up by just doing that reverse cutting like I just showed you, but it's just, I mean, it's such a small piece, just fussy cut it. And then I put them on dimensionals, and then I took all the smoke from the train and used it as snowballs. And I snailed these, and I put the penguins and these snowballs up on dimensional so they would look cool. And then the inside's just Poppy Parade and my little penguin there. And this is card number 2. Here's card number 3. So here's the front, here's the back, but watch this. It's a trifold. So I know it's looking down like this, and then you can see it like that. It's really, really cool. So, and it all just folds out, and you've got your sentiment thing on the back here. So let's start. What you need, obviously, this is actually a big card. It's a 6x6. So, and I'll show you how you can do an envelope at the end, but it's a 6x6. In order to do a 6x6, we have to have a 12x12 piece of paper. And if you go to the detail of my video, there is a bit.ly link to click on for the Stampin' Up 12x12 paper. They do sell it. So get your 12x12, and we're going to cut it in half. So we're going to take cutter and cut it in half just like so. Now that you've got that, now look at the card itself. We've got 2 panels here and the big panel, and it's basically cut in half. So the first score we're going to make is at 6. So I'm going to take my score and I'm going to score at 6. Then I'm going to move it all the way over to 3 and score at 3. That's all the scoring on the base will do. So we got our 6 and our 6 here, this cut at 3. So now we're going to take it and we are going to fold it mountain, valley. So this flap will be on top like this. So mountain, valley, and then take your thing here and give it a good crease. Now you're going to take that DS paper, and it's the one with the Santa and Mrs. Santa there, and you're going to get a 6x6. You're going to need 2 of those, one for the front here and one for the back. And then you're going to make 2 of these. These are 2 7/5, so 2 3/4 by 5 3/4, and just go ahead and snail them up. So it's going to have like a little border, and just put this on the front. And just give it that, you know, that 1/4 of an inch kind of look here. And then we're going to do the second panel. Just give it a bunch of snail. And just line them up as you go. And the hardest thing about the paper is just cutting it the right direction, because you do have to have it, you know, readable. This way you don't want it upside down. So, and then let's do the other part here. And I'm going to line them up just so they're good. So they're all even, going all the way across. And then the last one, put a bunch of snail on it, turn it over, and go like that. Now, while we're still on the back here, you might as well put in your sentiment stuff. So this is Granny Apple Green, and this is a 5x5. And then I took a basic white, and this is 4x4. I stamped Special Delivery with Poppy Parade and the Penguin in Memento. And then I used the dark black Poppy Parade and dark Mango Melody, and filled in the little penguin. Now let's get back to the front here. The first thing I'm going to do is put this green on the bottom. Now I could have made this Granny Apple green, but I thought that the sky and the ground would match too much. So I went ahead and I went with shaded spruce. And these are 2 by 8.5, and I need you to cut 2 of these. And then you need to take some tear tape, and we're going to tape these together because I do not have a 12 by 12 shaded spruce. So I'm going to make do. Now, if you don't have a 12 by 12 white to make this base, you can do it another way. And you'd have to do the 6x6 piece here just by itself. And then you're going to do a 6 by like maybe 8. And you're going to snail them together on the back here. And then when you do this part, you can just cover it up. So that's a way to not have to use a 12 by 12 if you don't have one. But I do recommend that you get 12 by 12 paper, because I have been using it, and Stampin' Up! Does sell that white. So I went ahead and I always keep the white here. Plus, I'm going to show you how to do an envelope, and you definitely cannot make an envelope without a 12 by 12. So I put a little piece of that tear tape, and I'm just going to match this up just like so. So you've got your piece here. Now we need to cut it to 11 3/4. So 11.75 or 11 3/4, however you want to say it. So we need a piece just like that. So we've got our piece here. This is the added piece, and we're going to try to hide this as much from the front. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this, and we're going to go over to 6, or actually 575. So 575, because it is going to be the first part of this bridge that goes across, and I'm doing this bordered edge here. So I'm going to 575, and I'm going to score it. Okay. Then I'm going to take this, turn it around, and then I'm going to score the other side at 3. So we've got a mountain and then a valley, and that piece that we put together is in that valley. So it should look like that. Next, we're going to snail this on the card. So I'm going to snail it here instead of on the piece. And I'm going to snail it here because it's only snailed in 2 spots. This spot right here and this spot right here. So what you need to do is fold it. Okay, close your card. Match the edge of that DS paper. And then on the other side, match the other side of the DS paper. And that's how you're going to get it to look like that. Now we're going to take this background piece, the mountain piece. And of course you've got a DS paper like this. Just cut off one little section of it like so. And then we're going to take this and we're going to decide which end we're going to cut. But we need to make this 11.75. So I'm going to look at this like this way and do 11.75, not 12.75 or 10.75, 11.75. So 11.75, we're going to cut off that little piece there. Now we're going to score this, and we are going to score it 5.75. We're going to take the first side, this side, at 5.75. And what that is doing is it's covering this part of it here. So it'll line up with this score line. Now I'm going to turn this upside down and take it to 3 and score 3, just like that. Now we're going to do that mountain valley thing. So mountain and valley. It'll look like this. So take your card now, and we're going to snail just the top because we want this to show through. So we're going to give it a little bit on the bottom. And actually, you know what? I'm going to take you to the railroad tracks first before we snail this on, just so we know where we're at. Now you're going to get the railroad die. And if you notice, there are 16 dies here. You definitely want to get a magnet. And the magnets are also listed in my Amazon links. Click on the link and get some of these. These are great. Even if you don't buy it, if you buy it somewhere else, if you click on my link, then it just helps me out because I'm an affiliate. But I want you to cut 3 of these out in early espresso, and then grab some scissors, and I want you to get rid of the rough edge. So I want you to make these square, but don't throw them all away because we're going to use one at the end because it doesn't quite get it all the way. So I'm going to take this now, and I'm going to use my fine tip glue, and because I love the fine tip glue. It's in the catalog. I'll put it in my link in my video. And my silicone craft sheet that keeps everything clean. That's why my glass is always clean, because I always use my silicone craft sheet. It does so many things. I use that mirroring technique with it. It's great. So I'm going to take this and get my base here, and I'm going to decide where I want my railroad. And I think I'm going to put it like right here. So give it like, what is that, 1/4 of an inch? And glue this down. And if it gets a little outside of, if the glue kind of spuges out, that's a word, then don't worry about it because there's going to be things covering up. So do that to the other 2. Just cut off the ends and then run them all the way across. So I put on the second one here. If you notice, we're going over a crease. So once you glue that on, fold the card and give it a nice little crease and then bring it back. And since we are using glue, you do want to hold it down there for a couple minutes. So go ahead and keep gluing across. So I'm putting on my final piece. Oh, yeah, these little tweezers here are from the embossing kit, tray kit that they have in the new mini catalog. I hope they keep that around because these are actually nice. I have finer ones, but I like these better. So that worked out. Now we have another spot where we need to make that fold. So I'm going to hold this down for a minute, let it dry, and then hold on. Maybe I'll do it now. Well, everything's wet, and fold. So it has that fold just like that. And then these pieces that you took off at the end, they're going to help you kind of fill in this little spot here. I'm going to take the best one and put some glue on it and put it at the very end because we need just a little bit more. So I'm going to take them in my tweezers first, turn it over, and then use my glue. I'm going to put quite a bit on there. And then put it on at the end. Okay, then take your scissors and get that last little piece off like that. And that's how you do the railroad tracks. Now we're ready for the background here. So we're going to take and fold the card and run it right across the top of the shaded spruce here, and just this on top of the shaded spruce here. Don't do anything in the middle. Fold the card. Okay, take this, fold it up. Now I'm kind of fitting it in there, and I'm going to line it up. Actually, I'm going to unfold it, sorry. And I'm going to line it up here. Okay, go ahead and open it, even though I just pushed on that tape. Okay, open it. And then I'm going to line it up here to the edge and fold it. And then just kind of give it a press. And that's how, whoopsie, the glue came off, and that's how you get that part on. Now we're going to die cut from that DS paper. And it's not so much on the Santa one, but on the other one, try to cut across here and try to save as much of the cards here as you possibly can. But go ahead and take out your dies and cut these out from the DS paper, and then put them on dimensionals. And I took the little papers off all my dimensionals, and you can see on the silicone craft sheet, they're not like sticking, so I can like kind of put them in order before I need them. So the first one we're going to do is going to be Santa, and then we're going to line up the cards. And the fact they don't connect is like, psh, no one's paying attention. Anyway, so we're going to put him right on where the edge of the fold is, and put him like the wheels were like in the middle of the track. Okay, and then I've got 2 gift ones and a reindeer one. So I'm going to put the reindeer one right here, kind of line it up with the Santy. And then we're going to take the reindeer on the next fold, and I'm going to just put it right here, kind of line them up. Yeah, that looks about right. And then take the next one and put it right here like so. Now we're going to make the tree, and I'm going to take the tree stamp and shaded spruce and just get a piece of scratch paper here and stamp out my half tree. The blending pens I'm using, this one is bronze because we don't have an early espresso one. And go a little past the stamp because that's where the die takes it. You might even have to redo it once you're there. And then Poppy Parade, there are straps, and there are 2 of them, one right here, and I'm going to go past it because I know that die is going to leave a white edge, and I don't want that. So there are the straps. And then I'm going to take light granny apple green, and actually I'm going to grab the dark granny apple green. So I got my dark granny apple green. My desk ate it here for a minute because there's a desk monster living on my desk that just likes to hide things and infuriate me. But I'm going to go ahead and color this in. I'll be right back. Now I'm going to color the star with dark Mango Melody, and then grab that die here. And I always use my delicate frog tape. That's what I use to hold down my dies, and I love it because it's cheap. You get a million, things of it. You can use it over and over a zillion times, and it is tape. I mean, if you pull on it too hard, yeah, it'll rip, but not so much like washi tape. Washi tape I've had actually pull off and wrap around the drum in my brother's Scan and Cut. It did eventually make his way out like months later, but I thought, oh no, I just ruined a $300 machine. But this stuff is great. It's in my link, my Amazon link, because you can get it on Amazon. You order it, and then the next day it appears at your door. It's like amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I've got it cut out. I put some dimensionals on the back, and then I'm just going to put it right on top of this trolley here. Now let's do the sentiment. So the sentiment I am using is from Potted Succulents. I always look for dies that have good sentiment dies in them. And I have used this die a lot of times. So I cut that out in basic white, and I went ahead and I put a couple of dimensionals on it. In fact, I put 3 and I don't want 3. I see I made a mistake, so I'm just going to take that off. So I'm going to close this card and I'm going to put it so it's right in the middle like so. And then also I stamped out the smokestack from the thing here, and I die cut those out and I put those on dimensionals. I got a big dimensional here, and on these two I have the mini dimensionals. These are great if you don't have the mini and the regular ones, and I'm just going to put those there. And then I stamped and colored and cut out another penguin, and I'm going to put him here like he's chasing down the train, and that is the card. Oh, before we go, I want to show you how to make a 6x6 envelope, because, you know, we don't always have this size hanging around. And you want to be able to know in a pinch if you can make any size of envelope. So here is the envelope that I made, and it will fit our card here. So you can put it in like that. But let me show you how I did it. First of all, you need one of these envelope punch boards. Now this one, it happens to be We Are Memory Keepers. And there is an Amazon link in the description of my video. So you can go to that, click on it, and it'll bring you right to Amazon. You can get this. And I am an Amazon affiliate. I'm 100% checked out. So it is safe to click on my links. So what you do on here is it has this little measuring chart, and you go but to 6x6, and that's the card size. So here's the card size, and then this row, it'll tell you the paper size, and this row, it'll tell you a score line. So a 6x6 card is a 9.5 by 9.5 sheet of paper. So we are going to have to use a 12 by 12. Now, I said earlier in the video, Stampin' Up! Does make 12 by 12 paper, and what's great about their paper is that it's made to be able to fold, so you won't get the cracks and everything in it. So let's take our cutter here, and we're going to do a 9.5 by 9.5 size. So I've got 9.5, and then 9.5 here, and now we have our paper size. After you cut your paper, go back to the chart here. So 6x6 is a 9.5 by 9.5, and it says the score line is 4 3/4. Now on the side of mine here, I've got my score, and what you do is you take the paper and you go to 4 3/4, which is right here. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to punch it, and then I'm going to take my scoring thing, and there's a line right underneath, and I'll show you when I pull up. And you put your score right up against the inside of the piece here on the right, and you do the score line. And then you take it and you turn. Okay, here's that score line I was showing you. So I was going like this on top of the paper. Then you take the score line, and you see this right here. You line it up with the score line you just did. And then you're going to take your little creasy thing here. That's a technical word. And you score it. And you punch it, okay? And then you do the same thing. You line up the line you just scored with. You take your stick here and do that, and you punch it. And then you turn it again, line it up with the scory line thing right here. Take this and score and punch it. And then when you pick this up, the little punchy things will be right under here. You can throw those away. Then you turn it over, and you're going to take the edges and you're going to put it in this side, and you're going to punch it, punch it, punch it, and punch it just like that. So you've got your scored and punched piece here, and then you're just going to make your folds. Now, this is what came with the kit. I like using my Stampin' Up! One more, so I'm going to go ahead and crease it. And just do all 4 lines. And I'm going to make I don't know if you're seeing this in my card video or a separate one, but I think I'll make a separate video on just doing the envelope, because, you know, there's so many times when we need an odd size envelope. And this thing is great. Stampin' Up does not make this. So like I said, it's on my Amazon link. Now, you've got your things folded. The best thing you can do is take tear tape. Don't use just regular snail. It's not good enough. It won't hold it. And we want it to look like this and not like that. I think that it looks better like this. I mean, you could do it either way, but we're going to do it this way. So I'm going to put the tear tape on these bottom pieces here. So just take it off and kind of eyeball measure it and put it on the very edge of both sides. So that one, and then here's the other side, and take off the tape. And we're going to press it down real good, and this will hold nice and well. It's cleaner than using glue. I'm not a big fan of glue, but when I do use glue, I use the fine tip glue. That I like a little bit more. So here's my thing. And then when before I use it, even, I'm going to do the same thing on the top. So when I'm ready to mail something out, I can just pull off the tabs and it's going to hold real nice. So you don't have to snail this either. So I'm going to keep those on, and then I can take my 12 by 12 card and I'm going to put it in. Of course, this is a real thick card, so it has all kinds of things that can get caught, but hey, it fits in there. And that's how you make the envelope. And you can do it basically for a whole bunch of sizes. So these things are great. Like I said, there's an Amazon link. So if you go to the description of my video, which is go next to the title and you click down the little arrow thing or the show more and click all that down, it'll be in my Amazon links there. And this helps out my small business because I'm an affiliate. I get a kickback if you buy anything from my Amazon links, or even if you click on any of my Amazon links and look at something and get it out. For 24 hours, I get a little kickback on anything you buy on Amazon. That's how I keep my little video business going, is that I've got that, because, you know, there's no money in Stampin' Up. So anyway, I didn't say that out loud. I love cards. So anyway, it just helps keep me going. So if you could do that, you know, do your Christmas shopping. So here are all my cards. And like I said, that one card we just did stands up so nice on its own. It's really cool. You can put your sentiment and your signature on the back. You got a tag, got 2 simple cards, and that'll do it for me. Thanks. Bye.